Shaquille O'Neal. And he can't dodge this lawsuit. If you're curious about which lawsuit, let's find out which one it was. It's coming from Decrypt. And yes, Shaquille O'Neal can't dodge the Solana NFT lawsuit, says the court. The basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal's NFT project Astrals is subject to a class action lawsuit, which was only partially dismissed on Friday. Now, a class action lawsuit against Shaquille O'Neal was partially dismissed Friday, while a U.S. court found that the legal battle over his Solana NFT project Astrals could proceed on some allegations that the basketball legend offered and sold investors unregistered securities. Now, O'Neal's Solana-based NFT project Astrals featured 10,000 metaverse-ready avatars, which were tied to a DAO and governance token dubbed Galaxy or GLXY. The lawsuit brought last year focuses on O'Neal's role and the extent to which he could be held liable as a promoter. Now, this case is going full force ahead. Adam Moskowitz, a general partner at the Moskowitz law firm, told Decrypt, describing the judge's decision as a great fortuitous moment. Now, the lawsuit's plaintiff represents the Moskowitz law firm and have allegedly the Astrals tanked in value after O'Neal fled the project, following FTX's collapse in 2022. Now, a Discord message in which O'Neal wrote, "I'm not effing leaving," shortly after the exchange's implosion, is presented as a statement capturing O'Neal's failed promises and his once pivotal role. Now, within the context of security laws, U.S. District Judge Federico Moreno found that O'Neal could plausibly be considered a seller under Section 12 of the Securities Act. Now, one element that the judge cited is the role of O'Neal's son as Astral's head of investor relations and allegations that the project's success was entirely linked to defendant O'Neal's celebrity status. Moreover, Moreno determined that O'Neal's promotion of the Astrals project didn't require personalized or individualized communications. With prospective investors, rather than judge, found that the existence of a financial motive made O'Neal's broad communications, often made through Twitter, relevant to the lawsuit. Now, the decision could have an impact on the other crypto-related class action lawsuit, where billions of dollars in demand and damages are on the line, and Moskowitz said those include cases related to FTX and Voyager, which are being pursued by Moskowitz law firm and David Boyce. Now, it's a very expansive ruling, Moskowitz said, and Moskowitz said of the Monero's ruling also, promoters like the MLB and the NBA, Tom Brady, they're arguing that we can't state a Section 12 case because we have to show that each person heard the promotional statement. However, the court dismissed a claim that alleged O'Neal was liable for promoting and selling unregistered securities under the definition of control person. In order for that claim to proceed, the case's plaintiffs needed to allege that O'Neal had an active role in Astral's day-to-day operations aside from promotions of Astrals on social media. Now, the amendment complaint clearly alleges that O'Neal found the Astrals project assembled a management team and his efforts were essential. Moreno wrote that, however, it does not hold true that the mere fact someone is a founder equates to having full control of it. Now, prior to Friday's court decision, O'Neal's team had moved to strike several of the lawsuit's references to FTX before the crypto exchange collapsed. And in November 2022, O'Neal served as one of the firm's celebrity promoters, having been featured in a commercial. Now, because O'Neal spoke on an episode of the FTX podcast and Astral's team allegedly reassured the project's community that O'Neal's involvement would continue despite FTX fallout, Moreno denied the motion to strike all references to the bankrupt exchange. Now, in the class action lawsuit against FTX celebrity promoters, serving O'Neal proved a challenge. Previously, Moskowitz told Decrypt that he was engaged in a cat and mouse game with one of the NBA's biggest personas, which was holding up the case's progress. Eventually, O'Neal was served outside his house, only for his lawyers to counter and say papers were instead thrown at his car. Now, eventually, while broadcasting an NBA game at what once was Miami's FTX Arena, O'Neal was served in relation to both Astrals and the FTX lawsuit. Now, as the lawsuit presses forward with O'Neal's motion mostly denied, the basketball legend is expected to respond to the lawsuit's allegations by September 12th. Now, O'Neal did not immediately respond to the request for comment from Decrypt, and it kind of makes sense why he wouldn't. But no, so yeah, Shaquille O'Neal's lawsuit with the FTX, that NFT project, it's going to go through, and Yeah, will he come out of it? I don't know. He's a very wealthy man. He may do just fine. So I'm not really worried there about this. And plus, it didn't affect me at all. But if it did affect you at all and you were curious about what's going on, this is it. But that is basically all the news I got for you. There was a bunch of other...